April McKinney, and I'm going to show you today a great recipe that is using Walmart steaks. And on this post, if you comment on the post, you'll get a $25, well, you have a chance of getting a $25 gift card to Walmart, and you can buy yourself some great steaks as well. So this is a Mexican spiced strip steak that I'm going to do along with a Molasses-Chipotle Glaze. It's really, really delicious. And I also have a great corn dish to show you that's going to go perfectly with this steak recipe. So the first thing I want to do is get my spice rub. And it's a really, really simple rub, Mexican spices. This is an Ancho Chili Powder that I actually got at Walmart also. So you can buy this anywhere. Went a little overboard there. It happens. Okay, put that in. And that's a teaspoon of that, and then I'm going to do a teaspoon of the cumin. Just about that. And the cumin's going to be nice and smoky. And the Ancho Chili Powder, if you've never used it, it's fantastic. If you like Chipotle flavored things, you're going to really enjoy that too. Just something kind of different to use. And this is a teaspoon of paprika. And then we've got, go ahead and get a teaspoon of salt. Very easy to remember. Alright, I'm just going to give that a little stir to make sure everything is combined. And there we are. Easy spice rub. Now, for our steaks, like I said, I did the strip steaks, and they have some nice marbling in them, but they're not, you know, too fatty, and they're also not the most expensive steaks. But these were under $10, and they're great, nice, big steaks. You could really feed 4 with that. There's only 2 of us, so we'll probably have some leftovers. Okay, so I've got my steaks on the board, and I'm just going to go ahead and put some of my spices on here and make sure that I liberally do this. And I may have some of the rub left over. I can always save it and use it on chicken or pork, whatever. So I'm just going to rub those in right into the meat. And I'm going to just let these sit after I get done doing this, and that way they'll kind of marinate the steaks. This nice rub will marinate the steaks while I'm getting the glaze ready. Okay. So I have the steaks rubbed really well, and I used almost all of that spice mixture. These are 2 12-ounce steaks, so they're really large. So you're not just going to sprinkle it on, you're going to rub them liberally because you got to season this whole thing of meat. So you need a lot of seasoning on there. Just going to set this aside while I go ahead and start working on the glaze that we're going to do. And this is going to be really nice because as it's grilling, we're going to be brushing this glaze on, and it's going to be spicy and sweet and just really, really nice complement to those spices. So the first thing I want to show you is my Chipotle peppers and adobo sauce, and it's probably not an ingredient you use every day, but it's really, really, it's a great ingredient, and it's easy to find. It's in any grocery store. I got these at Walmart also, so you can find them at Walmart. They're very spicy, so you have to be kind of careful with them, but they add a great flavor. They're not just hot, they actually have some really good flavors also in them. So I just took one out, and it's in this great sauce, this adobo sauce that's got a lot of really good flavor in it as well. I'm just going to chop it up, and you can take the seeds out if you want to have a little less heat, but since I'm literally just going to do a teaspoon of this, so it's going to add some nice heat. Okay. Now, I'm going to add in I'm just going to go ahead and put it in the saucepan, and add in our Dijon mustard. So it always adds a nice little tang and kind of brings everything together. And then I'm going to add in our molasses. This is a 1/4 cup of molasses, nice and rich and sweet. It's got a lot of flavor in it, obviously. It's going to be a great complement to the steak. Okay, and also I'm going to get in 1/8 of a cup of balsamic vinegar right in here, and then we add in our chipotle pepper. So it sounds really fancy and really over the top, but I mean, you're seeing how simple this is to do. It's just about buying some of the right ingredients and mixing them together. So I'm just going to whisk this all together, and then I'm going to put it over the heat and just heat it over medium heat and let it all come together. So we're over here at our indoor grill. This is just a little easier to video. And I'm going to drizzle just a little bit of olive oil, extra virgin olive oil, right on top of those steaks, just to give them a little moisture when they go on. And this is going to sizzle, so get ready. Perfect. When you're doing steaks like this, you really want to have them on a high heat, and that way, you know, they get the great grill marks. They'll really sear in all the juices. We're going to go for about 3 minutes here, and then I'll flip and start with the glaze. So as you can see, the steaks are perfectly grilled. They look just like they came out of the restaurant kitchen. And I got the glaze here. And I'm going to go ahead and brush those on. And you want to make sure you wait to brush the glaze on until they've already been seared. So I've pulled our steaks off, and as you can see, they are juicy, they're smoking. I cannot wait to eat them. But I'm going to let them cool and just sort of rest for about 5 minutes. That way all the juices stay in, and when we cut it, all those wonderful juices and flavors stay in the steak and not on the plate. But what I want to also show you is what goes with the steak, and this recipe was inspired by Bobby Flay's restaurant, Mesa Grill in New York. We went there last week, and it was so delicious, and one of the best things they had was this corn dish, and I'm trying to recreate it. But it's really actually very simple. What I've done is I've taken some corn and just cut the top part off with all the strings and green stuff. Just cut that part off, put it in the oven at 350 for 30 minutes, just like this, right on the oven rack, and then pull them out and let them cool, and they're completely cooked roasted corn. Really easy way to do corn, and you don't have to take forever with peeling all those little strings off, because they come off a lot easier, as you can see, once the corn has cooked. So my easy trick of cutting corn off of the cob is I get a bowl, a large bowl, and then I get a small bowl, and I put it right down in the bottom of that cup, set my corn cob right on top of the little bowl, and then just cut it with a sharp knife right down. See how easy that is? It helps to have a great sharp knife. I have to say thanks to my husband because he got me this amazing knife for my birthday, and before I just kind of had a regular old plain knife, and now I feel like you can just chop anything. Makes it a lot more fun, for sure. So as you can see, all the corn is in the bowl and not scattered all over the table and cutting board. That's why that's a great trick. But I'm also going to add to the corn another little chipotle pepper. I actually cut half of it and did half for the steak, and I'm going to do half that's going to go in the corn. And for this one, I de-seeded it. I just rubbed my knife right over the seeds and got them out. That way it'll take a little bit of the spiciness out of this. We don't want our corn overly spicy, just a little kick, since our steak's going to be a little hot. Alright, just give that a quick little chop. Put it right into my corn. And then I'm going to go with some mayonnaise. They used an aioli on the Bobby Flay's restaurant. That's what the website menu item said. But aioli is pretty much mayonnaise, and I don't really want to take the time to make one, so I'm just going to use mayonnaise. And I'm going to do about 1/4 of a cup of mayonnaise. I like to use the olive oil mayonnaise. It's just a little lighter. And then I'm also going to do the juice of 1 lime. Alright. It's a very juicy lime. Next, I've got some cheese that I'm going to put in here. This is queso fresco cheese. You can get it at Walmart. You can get it anywhere. Usually going to be in the deli section where the specialty cheeses are. But it's really not very expensive at all. And it's what they use in a lot of those Mexican restaurants. It is fantastic. Get that mixed up a little bit. That corn, when you roast it, it gets so sweet and juicy. It's just the easiest way to do corn, and I really think it tastes the best when you do it that way. So also to this, I'm going to add some cilantro, of course a pretty common Mexican food herb. And it's one of those things that if you don't like it, you're not sure about it, just use a little bit and it'll just add a little freshness. You don't have to use a whole lot, but with the strong sweet and smoky flavors in this, the cilantro is just really going to brighten it up. Alright, so that goes right in. And we got to have a couple pinches of salt, probably about a teaspoon of salt. Alright, get that nice and stirred up. Oh my gosh, this already looks delicious. And this was pretty much what it looked like at the restaurant, so I think I'm doing a pretty good job. I'm just going to put it in a skillet to heat it through. The corn's already cooked, so I'm just going to heat it up in the skillet and we will be ready to eat. So our corn is heating up, and I've got my steak here. I'm just going to put it right on the cutting board. It looks so good. Alright, get a sharp knife What I'm going to do is just cut it along the diagonal just like this. And that way we can each have little sections, so you can buy 2 big steaks and you can feed, you know, 4 or 5 people. And they think they're getting a whole lot of meat, but they don't have a huge giant steak in front of them to eat. All right, and this is about medium, and it looks so delicious. Okay, I'm gonna get this on a plate, just like this. Yummy, yummy, yummy. It looks so good. Ugh. All right, and I also have a little bit of extra sauce here. Just gonna drizzle some of that on here. Fantastic. You can serve that with the steak. And then our corn is heated up. You can see it just looks really, really nice. It's gonna be the perfect complement to this, light and sweet. Okay. And that is it. How beautiful is that? I've got to go in and get a taste of this. See how I did. Oh my gosh. It's sweet, it's smoky. It is so good. Don't forget to comment on this post and you can get a $25 gift card to Walmart, and you can get all the ingredients for this and more. So enjoy.